Here we are. Looks like we made it, and we are ready to talk about what's up in the world of poker and in just the world in general, I guess. Let's see. Ramon says hi. Nick says a whole bunch of emojis that I think he wants me to read, such as I should say hi Ramon. Let's see, we got the YouTube emoji. No, I'm not going to go through all these, Nick. You're like trying to crush it here, man. John, what's happening? Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I like it. There's somebody doing construction nearby here. It's going to create a little bit of knocking. I don't know who it is in this building, so it's hard for me to go and resolve it without hunting around, but I think I'm going to deal with it, and if it gets bad, then maybe I'll just have to lay some smack down or something. And by lay some smack down, I mean very politely see if they're willing to communicate when they're going to be doing this. But yeah, hey everybody. So, all right, a couple things have changed on the True Poker Dealer channel. First, for everybody that's been a part of the journey creating these lessons, the course is now complete with all the info on how to deal Texas Hold'em. I have renamed some of the existing videos. In addition to the titles that they have, I've added lesson blank of 38, because there's 38 videos that go into this. The earlier videos are a lot shorter, and they do get a lot longer later on. So you can hear it, Ramon. He says, I thought these are someone's steps coming in the room. No, these are knocks. I think it's the apartment upstairs. This building is strange. It's like, in some ways it's super duper like quiet. You can't hear the neighbors, and then in some other ways it's like ridiculous. It might just be that the insulation is gone in this exact spot, but we are stuck with it. And at the same time, like I said, I will lay some smack down if I need to, which again does not mean anything other than polite conversation. But yeah, so all right, so I created all the lessons. I have now put the longer lessons, the majority of the content on how to deal poker, that is now living in the highest tier membership. Some of the middle content, like the bank maintenance and stuff like that, is living in the inexpensive membership, and I think that's how it's going to be for now. I feel pretty good about it. Still like insanely inexpensive compared to dealer school. Dealer school is $800, $1,000, $1,200, sometimes $1,500. And if you're smart about my content, you can get all this same info for $49.99, right? If you do it in 1 month. Prad says, hello, how you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking that. So something interesting and fun. I can't show you because I actually use my phone to record. But I have just a couple days ago started a TikTok account. I downloaded TikTok months ago, and I found myself just like, wow, watch this video. Wow, watch this video. Wow, watch this video. And then I deleted it because it was like annoying. I like watching videos. It feels good, but it also gets in the way of being productive. However, I do realize that the casino skill set that I have is oddly satisfying, and TikTok is a platform for oddly satisfying things. And so I just created some, it's at True Poker Dealer, the normal thing that you guys are used to for me. I did create that TikTok account at True Poker Dealer, and I've only created like 3 or 4 videos, but people seem to like them. I mean, in 2 days, I think I have a combined like 10,000 views or something. I do plan on making a couple TikTok videos after this because they're pretty quick and easy, right? Like that's the appeal for me. It's one of the videos, I have a stack of chips and I just ask how much do they think that is in value, and then I count it down during the video. Another video, I show that I've got a specific hand and we've got our chip stack here, and you're kind of playing with me as the dealer, and I keep bringing flops until we get a satisfying flop. Just things that people like, right? So I thought that was a cool little thing for me to do. At some point I'm sure I'll do like some music themed like card pitching stuff. Yeah. And I also did create that other video explaining 38 lessons on YouTube recently, which feels fun. But I do want to remind everybody, this is the time to ask questions. Any questions that you want to ask, This is an Ask Me Anything, AMA, Ask Me Anything, and I do want you to ask me absolutely anything. So the questions I have so far: hello, how you doing? I'm imagining that you saying that like Joey from Friends, and it's like, how you doing? And I mean, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm happy. Let's see. Yeah, and it's been interesting. I have not live streamed as much in the last week or two, right? Like I got used to live streaming for what was it, like 20, 25 hours a day almost? I'm sorry, a week, and now I'm back down to just a couple. So I've gotten to focus on some of my other stuff. I did start creating, this is a little bit embarrassing, but I think it's going to come out good. I did start creating a poker dealing coronavirus version of a rap song. I have a friend who makes beats, and I thought it would be cool to do that. So I do have that. It's gonna be a bit before it's complete, but I mean, I figure what the heck, nobody does anything like that, right? I have a channel of people that people like and you guys like, and I mean, even if I suck, who doesn't want to see me try to rap, and who doesn't want to see me create something that's artistic in poker in the casino side, right? Just for fun. So I'm speaking it out loud so that I make sure that I complete it. I have written and recorded the first verse. That's it. It's a lot of work to be done. I'm certainly not trying to make it music video quality that you see with like real artists and stuff. But I've been fortunate enough to be around up and coming artists. So, big shout out to Dream Keem, who he's the one that makes beats, and he was nice enough to make me a few, and I chose one of them. But let's see. Some questions here. Great. Alejandro says, do you think a poker tournament would be profitable in Mexico? All right, well, that's a bit of a loaded question. So I don't really know some of the factors that are involved in what you mean when you ask Mexico, right? Like theoretically, if people are paying to play in a poker tournament, and poker tournaments are profitable to begin with, which they're supposed to be, then it would be profitable in Mexico. But if there's some other underlying concepts that I'm not aware of, because I'm very unfamiliar with poker in Mexico, unfortunately, it's a country that I don't have much insight into. Like, I would love to learn, but I've certainly never been to a casino there. I think I've been to a casino in the islands, and I haven't seen poker. Maybe San Juan, something like that. But let's see. So in order to make a poker tournament profitable, right, you just have to take enough and you have to charge enough. So say that it's $120 buy-in and 15 of it goes to the casino or to the home game or whatever you're doing legally. That's up to you. Well, if you get 100 people, 100 times 15 is $1,500. The question is, how long is the whole thing going to take, and how much is the staff going to cost, right? I would say that if you run a tournament like that and you take in $1,500, you can probably get away with paying, say that it's 15 or 150 players. You could probably do that on maybe 9 to 10 tables, because people get knocked out and then they re-enter or something like that. I would say that that's going to be 10 dealers to start, and then you kind of work your way down. I don't know if you have the rest of the room going on. I don't know the full dynamic, but I would say, 1,500 times how many dealer downs? You're probably looking at about 40 or so. That's just a off the top of my head guess. So that's 20 hours worth of work, and so you're paying $10 an hour, which you could go way less than that. That's 400 of it goes to the staff, plus 2 supervisors, you'd say. So yeah, I mean, I would say you probably make like $600 if you take $15 entry fee. That's pretty good. it just, I mean, the idea with tournaments most of the time is they're meant to bring in cash games because once you have people getting busted from the tournament, that's when cash games have no trouble opening. You've got your normal business coming in. Say that it's like people get busted at 8, 9 o'clock at night because the tournament started at 6. Well, that's perfect, right? Because that's a good time for people to come in and try to play poker anyway, and you build up your room like that. So, you know, on that note, if you're going to spread cash games after the tournament, you can make a lot of money, and then it's totally worth it. Jong says, well, breaks are necessary, Mark. LOL, nice. I'll definitely check that out. Yeah. Yes, breaks are necessary. Well, also, I was creating the course, right? So my intent with all the live streaming was to create the course. And now that the course is created, I'm going to pour more energy into regular video editing, which, you know, I'm going to be honest, I've got a special somebody coming to work with me for the next couple weeks minimum, and I'm very excited to start working with them. It's going to get me focused on releasing regular videos on this channel. The person who is going to be working with me is my very talented 8-year-old son, Ryan, who some of you met in the chat. And he wants to be a famous YouTuber, not because of dad alone, although I do influence that a little bit, but it's also largely because he is on YouTube a lot, and he just loves YouTube in general. They say that 75% of children nowadays want to be famous YouTubers when they grow up. You know, for us, it used to be movie stars or athletes and stuff, and there's still some people that want to do that, but you know, that's how it is for his gen. So yeah, I feel pretty good about it, and we're gonna do that. Let's see some other comments. I see Vegas Aces there. Hi Mark, I love this new setup. Oh, thank you, that's very sweet. Heather, I haven't seen you in a few weeks, but it's still been pretty recently overall, and you are still amazing with everything that you do. Super appreciate your support. Love giving you support back. Vegas Aces, she is the one who does all of the stuff I'm doing for poker. She does it for table games, and she's amazing at it. Let's see, one of the sweetest people ever, and I hope that the YouTube taking your video down situation has been resolved a little bit. I'm actually curious about that. But let's see. Ramon says, is it wrong to take only the top part of the deck when you separate it for the riffle and the bottom part not be moved? Let's see what you're talking about. So is it wrong to take only the top part of the deck for the riffle? No, it's fine. You can totally do that. I like to move both because I feel like it's less distance to move, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's fine. You can totally do that. I have seen dealers do that. Something about it seems like it reminds me of when I grew up playing sports like basketball, and you know, every once in a while you'd run across a player on the other team or even on your team who literally only played with one hand the entire time. Kind of reminds me of that. Something about that feels unbalanced, but I don't have any actual issue with it. So yeah, totally cool question though. And I'm curious, are you saying that you do that? Like I said, I have seen dealers. Something I want to just emphasize and remind everybody: when somebody does it in a casino, in a poker room, and their bosses say it's fine, and everybody's cool with it, that means that it is a professional way to deal. It might not be popular, right? But it's professional. So unless I can see a procedural way, like maybe I would say something like that hurts your shoulder in the long run, or you know, something like that. I don't see any negatives for this one. Just for me, it just feels a little bit odd, but I also learned to move both of my hands, you know? So I think it's fine. Let's see. Raven says, hey guys, good to see you. And we got the cat in the box and the sunglasses face emojis. Again, Nick, I want to apologize for not reading all of your emojis, but it's also you, Nick. So, you know, Nick is one of my friends from working in casinos. When I first broke in years ago, he never dealt poker, but he did deal some good table games. And I've never seen anybody in my entire career be able to make fun of players to their face and have them like it better than Nick. And he will be the first to admit that. So Nick, if you're watching right now, give a thumbs up because you're amazing at that. You do it in such a likable and funny way. Let's see. Christina says, I'm here. Hi, Christina. Yes, it's good to see you too. And Raven says, I just arrived too. Cool. And Vegas says, yes, sorry about that. Thank you. YouTube has other problems to worry about. Thank goodness they've been leaving me alone. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Alejandro says, it answers my question. I appreciate it. That is very satisfying for me. Every time somebody tells me that, I feel like I try really hard to answer questions accurately. It's like I have this like open loop in my head, and it just bugs me if I don't. If you guys ever want to mess with me and try to drive me crazy, ask me stuff and then tell me I'm not answering you well. And also, if I start to cry, like, please back off. Let's see. Ramon says, and when one of the players that folded and is a heads up between other two, he says loud that he folded one of the cards that are on the flop. Is he allowed to say that? Does he get a warning? Thank you. Yeah. He's not supposed to talk about anything like that. Like, that is, it's one of those things that's tough in a cash game because in the exact hand that's being played, it's been done. And once it's been done, it does affect the hand. So as a dealer, you have to make sure that you're clear with the player that that's not okay, all right? Hey, that's not okay. We can't do that here. And if they, like, is there going to be a consequence in that hand? Well, the consequence is that now they have kind of lost their warning, right? Like, now they've been told that it's not okay. If they need more explanation, you can give it. Like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. Or oh, relax. And then you can explain, like, look, the fact that you're saying that may or may not be true. However, it's calling attention to the cards on the board. It's calling attention to the likelihood that you may have folded one that can influence a decision, right? So I wouldn't launch into that explanation unless you feel like it's needed. For the most part, it's pretty obvious why it's not okay, but the answer is it's not okay. And from a supervisor, so from a dealer standpoint, if the player does something like that again after you told them it's not okay, that is absolutely supposed to be a floor call. You are not supposed to allow that to happen over and over again. It enables the players to feel like they can do things that break the morals and the ethics of the table. So calling a floor, at the very least, letting a supervisor know that it's happened is very, very important because, you know, dealers don't always think about this. You're here for 30 minutes or so, and then you leave, and you probably don't come back to that same table unless you're in a very small poker room. Okay, and even if you are in a small poker room, you might not come back there for hours. So what happens is the supervisors hear about it, and each dealer might be giving that same person a warning. Maybe they're doing it once per dealer, right? Eventually the supervisor becomes aware that the player knows better, and then it can be handled differently the first time it happens with a new dealer. And the new dealer who's at the table, new meaning someone that has not dealt at that table yet recently, you know, they might be surprised, like, oh, I didn't think that was a huge deal, when a supervisor like pulls them aside or kicks them out. But then later you just tell that dealer, oh, this was something that's been going on for a while. It seems minor, but all of the offenses add up. In a tournament, you could give the player a penalty the second time. I wouldn't necessarily just start off giving a penalty for that, but you know, it's not good. It definitely can affect the outcome of the hand, which violates the one player per hand rule, which is the reason. That's why I talk about that. Like in the lessons, I talk about tying all of your decisions in terms of to what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to handle it. Tie it back to those two fundamental rules whenever you can. It helps a lot. Let's see. And you know, your specific question is, does he or she get a warning? The word warning makes me wonder if people who are learning to deal sometimes picture an official style communication that is a warning. Warning can come in any type of a form from a dealer to a player that's communicating that something's not okay. You don't have to do any official format. So, you know, saying that's not okay, we can't have that, that's a warning. Also saying, hey, if you do that again, you know, I'm going to have to call a supervisor. That's a warning too. I would say the second one's probably not good because it creates a strange tension and confrontation. It's not really necessary. The first thing I said accomplishes the same thing. It just doesn't create the lingering tension. So, you know, I feel like that's a valuable thing too. Let's see. Raven says, cool, that is great. Hope you guys go viral with the vids. I appreciate that. Spiro says, And you get the money emoji for Raven. Sparrow says, Mark, work your magic, make some calls, and get the Boston casino open. Of course, kidding. I think what you're saying is you miss poker, right? You miss having them open, probably Encore or Springfield, maybe. Yeah, I totally get it. Raven, you've got a lot of emojis. I wonder what your total emoji count has been over the course of all these videos. It's got to be in the hundreds range, right? Maybe over 300 is my guess. Sparrow says, wishful thinking, yes. Vegas Aces, you do a great job at what you do. You're very sweet, Heather. Jong says, what is a simple way to make the prize pool percentage-wise in a tournament home game? For example, if there are 30 plus players, multiple rebuys and add-ons are included. Let's see. So the question that I think you're asking is, I think you're asking how to set up the prize payouts. If that's the question you're asking, like how do you decide how much to pay each place? The easiest way to do it, I actually did say this in one of the lessons very briefly. The easiest way to do it is go to Google, search poker tournament payout structure, and then go to images, and you will find a ton of images that give you different options, and you can just pick one that you think fits well for your audience. And that should be pretty nice. That should do it pretty nicely. I looked through a bunch of those. Some of them are better for more players. Some of them are better for fewer. Like if I search one right now, if you're talking about 30 players, poker tournament payout structure, I actually had it saved there. Unless this technology is just really good, and they could hear what I was saying. Let's see. So I'm looking at this one, the first one that I happen to click at. It says, well, see, and this is a good example. For them, it says 1 to 49 players pay 5 places, right? And first gets 37%, second gets 25%, third 18%. It doesn't make any sense, right? 1 to 49, if there's 2 players in a tournament, in a heads-up tournament, you're saying that you're going to pay 5 places. If it's 10 people in the tournament, you're going to pay 5 spots. It doesn't make any sense, right? However, if you look at the 350 to 459, it says 40 places. Well, that actually makes some sense the way they got it set up. So, yeah, I mean, there's different ways to do this stuff. But I'm looking at this now, and I can almost say there might be 50 different options there to choose from for what you guys want. So, let's see. So yeah, so what are has anyone that's watching right now actually been to play poker since all this stuff happened? And I do want to mention the whole dynamic of coronavirus affecting poker. I feel like something that nobody anticipated was the protests and all of the systemic racism pushback from the people taking away the focus on coronavirus. And therefore, I feel like in casinos, talking specifically about poker rooms, I feel like people are going to be even more relaxed with coronavirus than we're expecting, which is just because our minds are sort of elsewhere. Like they're sort of there, but now we're kind of used to masks. We're used to a different type of life. Some of us, I've noticed, are getting a little bit lazy, myself included sometimes. I mean, not that lazy, but it didn't occur to me that I had a friend come over who had just been to a protest, for example. To me, that's carelessness on my part in terms of coronavirus, but I'm thinking about how that translates into casino poker. I feel like people are just going to go for it and do whatever they want to do, more so than they would have a few weeks ago. And it seems pretty interesting. But yeah, has anybody been to casinos in the last couple of weeks? I'm curious. Alejandro says, what do you think about the WSOP fan page, free playing, to keep practicing poker while it's still not safe enough to go to a casino? WSOP fan page. Well, let's see what that is. Fan page. So I think what you're talking about is, what do I think of playing for free online while... Is this, Alejandro, is this what you're asking? Hey, Mark, what do you think of playing online for free just to like stay fresh when it comes to poker? If you're asking me from a poker playing standpoint, the poker is wildly different. I personally, if you play poker regularly, would take $100, $200 and play low stakes on some site like Ignition. You have to buy in with Bitcoin. If you're not that tech savvy, it can be a little bit difficult to figure out how to do all that. But that's what I would recommend, because the players online play very technical poker, and you can keep your skills sharp, and you almost force yourself to learn betting patterns. When you're playing like on WSOP, if you're talking about the play money section, the play there is wildly different and unrealistic compared to what you'll see in a casino for money. The fact that it's not for money just changes things completely. There's still some serious play. I would say if you can find sit and go single table tournaments that are play money, the last like 3, 4, 5 spots are pretty real seeming, and they do represent real poker in some ways. And so I would say that's good. I don't know if WSOP.com has that, but I've always thought that play money sit and goes are fantastic trainers. That being said, you're still not going to get some of the sophisticated play, but it's more realistic for sure. Yep, that's the question. Okay, cool. So that's what I would say. Go to Ignition. I've played on Ignition, and I honestly had a overall good experience there. Not in terms of the amount I won or lost. I went on that site, and I liked the fact that it felt like I was comfortable on the site, and I like the fact that they don't use usernames. I always feel like people with software can take advantage of sites that use usernames, and on Ignition you're just whatever number. In a cash game, you're whatever seat number you are, and in a tournament, you're whatever entry number you are, and so there's no way to track you long term. So I like that a lot. Let's see. Shoot Town. Nope, I have only been playing poker online, but I feel like it's not 100% true. Just too much shady stuff happening on the board. I might just be salty though. This is like an endless debate. I have been a part of this debate, and I've enjoyed. I want to like center myself here. I have not been centered the whole time. I do not mean emotionally or spiritually. This is like a long debate. So back in 2004, late October 2004, I started online poker advertising. I had been playing online poker for a bit at that point, and boy, did I really get into like learning about that. I was advertising for about 30 different online poker sites from 2005 to 2006. Most of the money that I was able to make came from a couple, and in 2006 they passed the Unlawful Internet Gambling Act, where I went from making like $1,200 a week to nothing overnight. I think I was still making maybe $150 a month, and it was because the countries like Malta that had gaming in them decided to completely back out of the US. Well, at that point, these sites were heavily scrutinized for what appeared to be rigging the deck. And since then, there has been a lot of software that's come out, and what I would argue is the software now monitors whether or not the hands are truly random. My understanding is any site that's relatively common at this point, they are pretty legit in terms of their random number generation and their flops, turns, and rivers. As a poker dealer and supervisor, I can tell you, okay, when you're watching those cards come out live, you're just like, oh my God. I 100% believe that this is a real, legitimate, random thing. I cannot believe that just happened. It does come like that very frequently, and I really mean that. Working in poker and seeing it over and over and over again makes me fully believe that a lot of what we experience now is confirmation bias, where we believe a thing and then we notice when it happens, and we don't pay attention statistically to how frequently it happens, right? But I'm not going to say for sure that I'm right here, because it is possible that they remove certain combinations I just don't know. But I'll say this. I have this thing in my head. I don't know. It might be the same thing as you. Maybe I'm salty. I have this thing in my head that every time I cash out, I get absolutely smacked by the deck in a bad way. That's just what I experience. Is that true? I don't know. Would that make sense for the poker rooms? Yes. Right? I have no idea if that's true. And I do know, though, that there's plenty of people who win in the long run. And a lot of them keep statistics on what they notice the trends are, and then they adjust their play away from the math that they're used to. Something that you should know about online poker that's very different than live poker is that people play differently. When you can't see somebody, they're more likely to bluff. When they're more likely to bluff, they're more likely to catch cards and rivers and all that stuff. And I mean, if you're 70% to win, well, that means you still lose 3 out of 10 times. So there's a lot to be said here, and I feel like I have explained my view on it to the limit of my capability. But it is kind of fascinating. I'm curious. Can you guys hear all the stepping around? I want to be like the guy in Friends, the old guy who like takes the broom and like hits it on the ceiling, like, "Hey, knock it off," you know. But I'm not gonna do that because I don't have a broom in this room. And if I were to go get a broom, I would go get water because I'm pretty thirsty, honestly. But yeah, I like these questions, guys. These are great. Keep them coming. Can you guys see me shuffling chips on here? Yeah, you can. It looks fun, right? I will ask you this. Are there any videos that you guys want me to make that are like fun videos on YouTube, that is? Just like anything that you kind of want to see. Like I'm considering the poker golf, or the playing card golf, where you like get it on the green and stuff. And we kind of done some of that. But I don't know that I have the right setup to film that. But are there any videos that anybody can think of creatively that you guys would want to see that might be satisfying? I've got about 12 that are like ready to go. But yeah, I'm just curious what you guys think. Let's see. Sparrow says, back on the COVID table dividers, I wonder how much casinos will lose in, I think you mean cost, it says coast, when things go back to normal. Yeah, it's cost. Having to get new tables without drill or bolt holes in them that held the glass dividers. So that's a good question. My understanding of these plexiglass coverings on the tables are I don't think that they're going to leave permanent damage, although you know what? I have absolutely no idea. But that is a very good question. I do think that the casinos make so much money in some cases that they just don't care. I mean, if you can bring poker players in, some of those poker players are going to play slots. Like casinos that have other things to offer, some of them play table games. It's just worth a fortune to get people in the door. So just they do whatever they can do. And I also don't know, like, we've seen a lot of these plexiglass things go up in supermarkets at the aisles when you check out and stuff like that. I don't see those things leaving. I'm not sure these are going to leave poker. They could. They totally could. But I feel like the only way they go away is if we truly have like a 0% risk, and the pandemic and the COVID risk is like completely gone. Otherwise, I feel like they'll probably just keep a lot of them up. Now, in my experience, most of them do not use the insane plexiglass. Most of them just use masks. But yeah, that is a good question. I also don't know. I don't know more than like one or two that use plexiglass. Have you guys seen around the country plexiglass tables up? I know they have them in the Seminole properties in South Florida, but I don't even think 2 of the 3 properties have opened yet. So it's hard to tell what that is. Let's see. But the cost, thinking about those plexiglass things, like selling to casinos, by the way, if you're a company and you can sell to casinos, it's like a dream, because they have a limited number of verified vendors, so then they can kind of control the price in the market. Meaning the state there's a lot of approvals that a company has to go through in order to sell to casinos in the first place. But when I look at those things, actually, here's a good little quiz, right? how much does a craps stick cost? The simple craps stick, the gaming equipment that you use to grab the dice. I'll see if anybody can guess, and I'm gonna look it up and see what Amazon has, because when I researched this, there's never been like stuff on Amazon, so I'm curious what it says up there. Ooh, interesting. Wow, that's fascinating. So I'm gonna just answer a crap stick. It says $34 on Amazon. Now I don't know if that's like the quality one, but I can tell you this: they used to be 120 minimum. So maybe the competition went down a little bit. Let's see. So Alejandro says, maybe you're dealing with a couple of friends. I appreciate that. I am going to pop that in my notes. I would love to deal with a couple friends and just, you're talking about like me dealing and they're playing poker or something like that. Could you elaborate on that a bit? Because that sounds like a great idea, honestly. But you knew that already, right? Of course that's a great idea, Mark. It's mine. Let's see. All right, so I gotta do this. No, not that one. Where's the good one? There it is. What else we got here? Shoetown says, yeah, that might be true actually. I also have this thing where I managed to play pretty tight in the first 1 to 2 hours of a tournament, but after that I seem to not be able to back away from a hand and lose because I had like 40% of my stack in the pot for no apparent reason. So, Shoetown, I will say this to you. I have been working very closely with a tournament pro, and his name is Michael Lackey, Laake. You can look him up on Hendon Mob. I have learned so much and from working with him on these projects. And if you go to livepokercoaching.com, that's his thing. There's a lot of content there. That exact thing that you're describing, like he has answered it in detail. There's a ton of content that he's put out related to how to succeed in tournaments and probably the types that you're talking about. I personally used his methods and I finished 4th in a 3,133 person tournament on Ignition, where it was like a $5.50 buy-in, but I got like $650 for 4th place. I used to do the same thing as you. I used to play tight like that. He shifts my focus toward, what's the wording he used? He wants he helps identify spots where your odds are very high, is the simplest way to say it, right? Now, I know that it sounds like I'm plugging him, but I'm hearing the thing that you're saying, and I'm realizing what makes more sense, right? Spending $20 for 1 month for his thing, or spending a bunch of money on buy-ins for tournaments where you don't have a strategy that feels good, right? So to me, it's the $20 for 1 month. That's just how my mind works. If I'm going to spend this money, I might as well invest it into learning, because one of the toughest things about playing poker is the results don't necessarily teach you the right thing, because the probability means that the wrong thing can happen, right? So there's a lot of stuff there. It's pretty interesting. But let's see. I do like that comment. John says, I saw a plexiglass setup from Thunder Casino in California. Oh, cool. Let me look that up. Now I'm curious. Interesting. Thunder in California. Thunder Casino, California. I want to see that right now. Oh, plexiglass, it showed up. Let's see if we got an image of it. Nope, not yet. I'm also curious to see how much work the casinos put into their development. Because I know that some of the casinos have been like, well, it's finally empty. For the first time it's empty and we can make the casino a lot nicer now. Let's see. Foxwoods. Yeah, I don't know about Boston yet. But I haven't actually been to Foxwoods since they put them to see how they actually look. Got it. Yeah, it's tough. Like, well, driving to Foxwoods is what is it, an hour? I remember it used to be an hour and a half for me, maybe 80 minutes. It was a hike. Let's see, would that be around, I think you're saying €50 for the stick. $34 is probably going to be closer to, like, I haven't seen the exchange rates lately, but probably like 25. Oh, Vegas says that they have the plexiglass at some Las Vegas casinos and $25. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Alejandro says, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. You're reading my mind. Haha. All right, cool. Crap stick. Let's see. John says, I sent you a picture through the Facebook Messenger, Thunder Valley Casino. Oh, hell yeah. Let me check that out. Going into Facebook. I have all of these different things competing with my internet right now. Well, what are you going to do? I feel like my hair just keeps growing and getting crazier. I don't like recognize myself half the time anymore. I don't see it. Let me check message requests. I don't see it here. I don't see it here. Oh, duh. Probably sent it to True Poker Dealer. Let's see. I do want to see it. Like, I'm super curious to see what this looks like. Right. I got something in my inbox here. Back when I was very focused on the Facebook group. Oh, cool! Here it is. All right, let me share this. Window capture. All right, and we'll go like that. All right. Can you all see it? Alright, look at that. Oh no. Wrong thing. No, again. Wrong thing. Alright, here we go. So, can we all see it? Oh, interesting. Boy. That looks fascinating. I guess I'm trying to understand what that is even. Each person has glass between them. It doesn't seem like there's any plexiglass in the actual table, if I understand it correctly. It just looks like dividers. Huh. Oh, another picture coming. Let's do this. Alright, we'll go up here. I feel like I'm doing a magic trick. Alright. And what do we see here? So, yeah, these appear to be just individual dividers. You know, I don't know. It can't make it worse, I guess. But something about this doesn't seem... What do you guys think? Do you think this is better? Do you think this makes the type of difference that we're looking for? I guess it prevents people from breathing toward each other. I don't know. I think I like the Seminole one better. What do you guys think? Thank you for sending that stuff. Person with a capital N says, finally I can catch you live. Oh yeah, I gotta drop that out. Yeah, what did you guys think of that? That was interesting, right? Let's see. Michael says, what's the most memorable hand you've dealt? The most memorable hand that I have dealt. That is a great question. Let me just think through my personal memory banks. You know, I still think that it's... there was a hand that I dealt. It was Chinese poker, and I've told a little bit of this story before. It was Jason Mercier or Mercier. I've still never learned how to say his name, even though he's a top 10 poker player. He's amazing. But he was playing with another poker pro against a wealthy business owner. I think I don't know the type of business that he was doing, but they were playing Chinese poker for like $400, $800 a point, something crazy like that. And actually, it was definitely $800 a point, because I remember this guy lost about 50,000 in 30 minutes to the two of them, and they kept calling Jason a luck box, even though obviously that's not the case. Now, Chinese poker is not quite as much skill, but then it is at the same time. If you're against somebody who's not as skilled, it's almost like rock paper scissors is not a skill game unless you're playing against people that aren't really thinking on that level. So the thing that made it the most memorable hand for me was the guy set his hand very poorly. I forget exactly what it was. So the hand itself isn't what was as memorable. It was just the fact that in this hand, they managed to talk him into continuing playing, even though this wasn't the game he wanted to play, where he was losing massive amounts of money, and they made it so that they were able to take another like $30,000 off of him before they even played the game that they all showed up for. So they were just doing this while they were waiting to go and play their regular mixed game that was high limit. And that, to me, that was just crazy. Now, a hand that I can remember actually dealing, I think for me it was the very first bad beat jackpot that I dealt back in Washington State at a very small poker room where they seeded it $10,000. It had to be aces full of jacks or better beaten, and I dealt four of a kind fours that beat aces full of jacks. Both players used two in their hand, and I mean, look, when the jackpot comes out and it's like $14,300 something that gets split amongst the table, it's pretty memorable. Dealing bad beats are some of the coolest moments ever. The thing that stinks about the bad beat is it almost never happens, right? But that is a fond memory of mine, having dealt that. And this was, I think, 2008. It was a long time ago at this point. Let's see. It says I sent you another angle of the dividers. Let's check it out. Oh, no, that must have been before, because I did look at that one. Cool. So just to skip around for a second, Jong says the most memorable hand that I dealt was pocket tens versus ace king offsuit, and the flop came 10-10 queen in a tournament, level 18 blinds or 20k, 40k with 40k big ante. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I cannot argue with that. Let's see. Raven says, cool, thanks, John. That is some nice shots. Yeah, that was pretty nice. I really appreciate that he found that. I feel like we're all kind of interested to see what this stuff looks like, and there's not really a place to go that's universal, unless I'm just not paying attention. John says it's a shield to piss people off and maybe block their piss, right? Raven says it's bad for poker. I think it will make for more short-handed tables, I'm guessing, but maybe good for blackjack since fewer players at the table would give you more hands per hour. So then there's another question, what's Chinese poker? I'm going to show you how to play Chinese poker in a second. I'm happy to do that here. So in about 2 minutes, I will show you all how to play Chinese poker with me. We'll have fun with that. But first, I don't think it's bad for poker. Why do I not think it's bad for poker? Because, first of all, poker is already a very gross game. And if you fast forward a little bit past the pandemic, when people have money again, the economy's more normal and stuff like that, if we can make poker less gross, that's a win. I also think that online poker has a whole lot of nine-handed, but even more six-handed and some short-handed, because it is fun to play. It's very hard to find that in live poker, and I do think this is going to create long-term six-handed games, which people are going to start learning to play more aggressive poker, because that's what you have to do when it's short-handed. You can't just sit around and wait all the time. So some people are still going to wait and play nine-handed, but now The people that like six-handed are going to get to choose between six-handed and nine-handed. There's something really powerful about that for poker. I think that ends up being a good thing where you have more games to choose from at any given time. So I totally understand that right now it kind of stinks, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, it's awkward, but the good news is people aren't stopping, right? By the way, I have heard so many casinos, probably 5 or 6 casinos, so that's so many to me. If I ever say so many, it's 5 or 6. But I've seen so many casinos hiring dealers now. I just saw another one go up in a Facebook poker group. I mentioned that I have received word that they're going to be hiring about 40 to 50 in Dallas, and they have no idea if there's any people that actually know how to deal poker out there because they've never really had it. So there's a lot of opportunity that's coming here pretty soon for people. I've also heard that the rooms that are open, a lot of the dealers haven't gone back yet. They're still collecting unemployment. It's kind of this gray area where they can. Now, if you work in a casino and you're choosing to do that and you're not scared for your health, I personally recommend you go back, because if the casino does decide that they don't need anybody, they're going to move on from the people that decided not to come back. That's my guess. I should say that. But it's worth thinking about. I know that that's how it worked in some of the car rental companies. I've talked to people about that, like Enterprise, for instance. I rented a car from Enterprise, and I was hearing from the employees there that they asked people if they wanted to come back to work, and the people that came back are the ones that kept their jobs. It's possible that could happen in for poker dealers too, because the casinos need what they need. It is that simple. It is a business, and even if things are different than we're used to, if they feel like you could come back and you're choosing not to just to collect unemployment, which poker dealers do stuff like that. I'm not going to lie. Poker dealers manipulate and game any system. Not all poker dealers at all, but there's always some out there. They game any system that they can that's given to them. I mean, that's kind of the way that it works. And I respect it, and at the same time, sometimes it's a poison to themselves. But yeah, it's interesting. All right, so what is Chinese poker? I'm going to deal a hand of Chinese poker, and we'll all kind of play it together, right? So we're going to set all of these hands. Let me get my screen up real clear here so I can see. So, I don't remember the points exactly, but basically we're going to say that it's 4 players, and each one we're playing $5 a point. They usually play more than this, but each one has $100. All right. So that's 1, that's 2. Let's knock that over. That's 3. Can we see all these? We can see this. We can see this. Let me get this out of here. That's not how I wanted to do that. Well, it's too late to go back now, huh? I have some people who tell me, I'm OCD and I can't watch your videos because there's chips everywhere. So let me just make you even more uncomfortable and just get it off the screen so there's no mess actually on the screen, and you can just imagine what's beyond your view. Yes, I'm crazy. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3. I am going to bring myself up a little bit here. Shrink myself down slightly so we get some more room. And I get to show Chinese poker. I'm excited about that, because I have had such good times playing Chinese poker with friends, honestly. Oh yeah, I did that already. All right, here we go. So I'm going to shuffle this up. And we're going to do these all face up, okay? We're going to have everybody play against each other. This is probably going to take... I need a cut card. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I want to do a full wash just for fun, all right? Build a little suspense. Does anybody here know how to play Chinese poker already? Has anybody experienced this? This is something that I used to, when I first started working in casinos. This would be the game I would play with the dealers at home for $1 a point is what we played. But we'll do $5 a point because it's in a casino here. By the way, as a dealer, the way to deal this game is the easiest thing in the world. You literally just go like this. You just, I'm going to say, well, you go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. But normally they have you just go like this. and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever your casino does, and you create 4 piles. But I'm gonna make it like this, and just go around the table because I'm gonna pretend like it's at a home game or something. And you deal out 13 cards. It's a full 52 card deck. You deal out 13 cards to each player. And I would be pitching it, for the record. I would be pitching it if I was not going to have to clean that up afterwards. So let's not get a little confused in that. So you deal out the entire deck, right? So now what we'll do is we'll have each player set the hand. So basically the way that this works, you have to use 13 cards to create a 5-card poker hand, and then another 5-card poker hand that's not as good as the first 5-card poker hand in terms of rank, and then another 3-card poker hand that can't be as good as the second 5-card hand. Okay? And then there's bonuses and stuff like that. So I'm going to go like this so we can see all the cards. All right? So here we've got, as we pull these out, we can see we've got 3 kings. I'm just going to put them all in order. We'll kind of go like this. I'll put an ace high. It goes jack, 10, 8, 7. There's a couple of 5s. Let's see. Oh, there's a 6. A couple of 5s, a 3, a 2, and an ace. All right. So we can see right off the bat, there's no straights here. Okay. Something good to know about Chinese poker. You have to have a 5 or a 10 to have a straight, period. There's no way to have a straight without a 5 or a 10. That's good to know for poker in general. But let's see. So because of that, this looks like a pretty rough hand, I'm not going to lie. 3 kings on the bottom. Kings full of 5s might be the best way to play this. I've never said I was a fantastic player at this game, because you could do kings full and you're probably going to lose a point to everybody. Whew. This is rough. So again, your bottom hand has to be stronger than your next hand. So this ace, I might have to go like this. Gosh, this is not beating anybody in the middle, and this is not beating anybody up top. I think because of that, we're going to try to go for the win here. So we're going to go like this. Ace, jack, 10 up top, 5s in the middle. And this is this hand, all right? So now we're going to put this away. I'm not saying I set this the most optimal way. It's not a good hand. Did I have any flush? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there was 4 hearts, 4 diamonds, 4 clubs, and 1 spade. So no flushes. That's pretty rough. All right, so we're gonna turn that back over. Are you guys starting to get it? Anybody want to comment? Let's see. Raven, I'm going to get to your comment as soon as I'm done with this. I am going to come back to all the comments that I've missed. All right, so now here's the next hand. And we've got, oh, let's see. So I do see this. 2, 3, 4, 4, 6, 7. If I pull the flush out, there's not a whole lot there. I've got 3 pair. All right, let's just go like this. I'm going to set the hand. Well, I'm not going to set the hand. I'm just going to look through the hand, kind of put everything in order. So you can see I don't have the straight there. I'm missing the 8 for the straight here. Oh, there's 3 4s. Why don't you guys tell me there were 3 4s? Gosh, I didn't even see that. All right. So, can we see all these cards? Draw to. You don't get to draw in this game. It's pretty funny. All right, so the first thing I want to do is if I pull out the 3 of a kind and I pull out the pair, can I make anything good? The answer appears to be no. If I use the flush, I'm sort of going to kill the... If I use the flush, I'm going to kill just about everything else here too. Boy, these are 2 pretty rough hands to start with, I'm not going to lie. And there doesn't appear to be any straight with either of them. Gosh. All right. Well, I feel like the thing to do here is 4s full of 7s versus a flush an ace king high flush is not too far off, and the flush gives me a pair in the middle. So I'm guessing that I'm not playing this optimally, but this is the way that I'm setting it. All right, so I've got flush on the bottom, pair in the middle, and a queen 9-7 on top. What do you guys think? You like that? Because if I don't do it this way, I'm going to be stuck going like this with 3 4s, 2 7s, and then I have no pair or anything with anything else here, which means I would be able to put a king, queen, 10 up. I think, yeah, but a 4s probably aren't winning anything in the middle anyway. You know what? I am going to do this. I think this is slightly stronger. And I'm happy to hear somebody's criticism who actually knows. All right, so 4's full of, or do we go 3 4s and 7s and then an ace, king, 10? You know what? I'm changing my mind again. Let's go like this. Ace, king, queen up top, 7s in the middle, and 3 4s down here. All right, so ace, king, queen, that's not a straight. 3 cards doesn't count as a straight. This is what we're going to play, all right? So now we turn this one over. Next one. All right, big money, no whammies. All right, so I'm just going to start pulling cards. I got queens, I got 10s, I've got 9, 8s, 6s, 5, 3s, and a deuce. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. When you get a 5 pair hand, you do want to take a quick look to see what else you can make from it. I only have 4 spades. I don't seem to have any chance of a flush, and I don't have a chance of a straight. So I'm just going to play this 5 pairs. So when you have 5 pairs, you always get to put the highest pair up top. The next highest pair goes on the bottom. The lowest pair goes on the bottom with it. And then you kind of just go like this. And then you just fill the cards in as you go. Highest card goes with that individual pair, because that gives you the highest chance of winning. Because it's possible to go up against queens. So you got 10s and 3s, 8s and 6s, and then queens up top. Queens up top should be good a lot of the time. And then with the last hand here. Are we enjoying this? Just curious. Curious if we are enjoying this. As a dealer, you do not ever really set these, for the record. This is just what I'm doing right now. Let's see, 8, 7, 5, 4, deuce. So we got aces, 3 jacks, 9s. Let's see. I got 3 hearts, 3 clubs, 3 spades, and 4 diamonds. Wonderful. All right. Well, it looks like there's not a whole lot of choice here. It looks like we're going jacks full down here, aces in the middle with a queen high up top. And there is an argument to go jacks, aces, and 9s. 3 jacks, aces in the middle, and 9s up top. I'm trying to decide what I would do if I didn't already know what everyone else had. I think I would protect the bottom. There's a really high chance of winning with jacks full down here. So I think that's the way to go. Aces in the middle can win. It can be decently strong. So we're going to play it like this, okay? So now here's what we're going to do. We got to compare everybody's hands. So this player is going to have this here. Here, I'll move this back a little. This here and this here. All right. This player is going to have queens. And if you're dealing Chinese poker, the players take care of all of this. You literally just put the cards out. That's it. It's amazing. It's like dealing 3-card poker in the old days. Meaning that it's super simple and there's not a lot to it. Let's see, this player's got that. And that. Can we see all this? I think we can, right? 3 4s. All right, and then this player over here, we'll push their chips back a little. They have ace jack 10 up top, fives in the middle, and then 3 kings in the bottom. And this is why it was tough to like, should I go kings? Anyway, all right, so what you do is you as the people playing the game, you compare your chips with, or your cards with each of the others. So between these two, you get 1 point for each spot. And there's different ways to score this. I'm not going to get into all that, but basically this one, pair of queens beats an ace, king, queen high. 2 pair, 8s and 6s beats 7s. And then 10s and 3s is not as good as 3 of a kind 4s. So this player would get 1 point. So they would do that. Now this player is going to compare it to this one. So queens beats ace high, 2 pair beats 1 pair, and 2 pair loses to 3 of a kind. So they won 1 more because they won 2 and they lost 1. So that's 1 point overall. Now over here we get queens wins up top, 2 pair wins in the middle, 2 pair loses down here. So they get 1 point here. So they were playing $800 a point. So that would be $2,400 that this player would have just won. So now this hand has gone against all the rest of them. Just so that it's easier for all of you to see, I'm going to turn it over. So now we'll do this one versus this one. Ace king beats ace jack, so this is win here. 7s beats 5s, it's a win here. And then 3 4s loses to 3 kings. So this one won twice, so it gets 1 chip. And then here to here it goes. Ace high wins, 7s lose to aces, 3 of a kind 4s lose to a full house. So this one pays 1 over here. And then this one's all done, so now we go like this. And now these two compare. This one wins up top. Ace. So ace high beats queen high. 5s lose to aces. So aces win. So that's even so far. And then jack's full win over here. So this one pays 5 over here. And then that's that. Now it gets kind of cool because there are bonuses when you get 4 of a kind or a full house in the middle or 3 of a kind for your 3-card hand. Stuff like that. You can get big bonuses. Royal flush gets a bonus. And there's some interesting stuff that can happen with Chinese poker that comes up every so often. But overall, it's a pretty cool, interesting game. So let's go back over to here. So Raven says you can see some of this on the TCH on YouTube that you mentioned. Yeah, TCH Live, which is Texas Card House in Texas. They're the ones that are going to be opening in Dallas, by the way. I was watching that a bit yesterday. The dealer had a mask on, but only 1 or 2 of the players. Yeah, that's so crazy, right? Like, but it is that it. The thing that we need to do is we need to realize how people think and be accepting of the truth. Okay. Once we're accepting of the truth, if we want to make a change, we can push for that change. But nonetheless, this is the truth. This is our reality. So it's interesting, and you're totally right. That is what's happening. Michael said, seems like a good thing for casinos too. Same number of players spread out over more tables, therefore more rake. Yes, that is the casino's happy secret. The bad thing for casinos is they have way fewer tables open. Most casinos are operating at 50% of their tables or so. Spiro says, yep, Encore hiring all types of jobs, chip runners and dealers, etc. Advertising. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm hearing a ton of hiring everywhere. This is what I was saying. This is why, by the way, this is why I put the course out. You know, I really did feel like there's not a lot going on. I might as well create this course now. You guys are awesome, and it was a good way for me to give back by having it be live for anyone that wanted it live. And I think there's going to be a lot of hiring, and I think that my course not only helps people learn how to deal Texas Hold'em, it also helps people learn what it's like to be in a casino and how to be a good employee, how to fit in, how to reduce your stress in the long run. There's a lot of benefit there, and I feel happy that I have created the memberships, and I feel appreciative that YouTube created that function. It's still in beta. I did test out, by the way, that you can click the join button on a phone, on mobile, but you have to do it going to a Chrome browser, and then you go to youtube.com when you're in a Chrome browser, not in the YouTube app. I haven't been able to find a way to do it in the YouTube app itself. Let's see. Jong says, I do. I don't remember what we were talking about. I'm sorry, Jong. Raven says, never heard of it. Probably Chinese poker. Michael said, I know Chinese. Excellent. Raven says, ni hao. I think that means hi, not Chinese poker. But now we're speaking the universal language of emojis, Raven. You said wave, pray. So you said water, wave, pray, hi, and fist bump. Michael said draw to the inside straight in the middle, yes, for the first hand. Shoetown said, can a 3-card hand also be a straight and flush? The answer is some people play that you can have they have what's called an automatic winner where you win the top, middle, and bottom if you get 3 flushes or 3 straights, including a 3-card straight or a 3-card flush at the top. So maybe you have diamonds, spades, and clubs or something like that. But not everybody plays that way. So it just depends on how you play and what your rule set is. I have personally seen... I enjoy the automatic winners. It's like the reason automatic winner is so cool is because you're going to push against another hand that's an automatic winner, but 6 pairs is also an automatic winner. But in a lot of cases, like someone can be so happy. I've seen the craziest Pai Gow hand I've ever seen dealt in real life was a royal flush on the bottom with 4 of a kind in the middle and a pair up top. And that hand was insane because the royal flush gets a bonus and the 4 of a kind in the middle gets a pretty hefty bonus as well. And one of the people it was up against had an automatic winner in that, and so they were like unaffected. They actually beat that hand. It's an interesting dynamic. There's also like, you know, some other things that are crazy. I don't know. I've never seen one of these, but I hear sometimes people say that they play with a dragon straight, which is you get 13 cards. There's 13 cards per suit. So if you happen to get every single card, no, the dragon straight is a 13 card straight. I'm sorry. It's not of the same suit. And I've still never seen one of those. And I've definitely never seen a 13 card straight flush, which would be insane. Let's see. But I definitely have seen people with 3 cards to come sweating it out because they might have a dragon straight. Like, oh my god. You know? Let's see. But generally speaking, you can't have a straight or a flush up top. Sometimes, you know, I one of the hands we had queens up top. Sometimes there's a special thing with winning with queens. I know that some of the pros play like that. I forget that rule. It's been 4 years since I've dealt with or played that. You know, honestly, if I had people in my life to play Chinese with for fun for like $1 a point, I would probably do that. You don't end up winning or losing more than like $40 to $60, and it's a lot of fun with some friends. I do recommend that. Like looking up the rules now that you've kind of seen how I do it, it can be very fun. Let's see. Or only high card, 1 pair trips. Thanks. Oh, there's an arrow down. Oh, we've been going still. Cool. Do they raise bets in Chinese poker? No. All the money exchange is done at the end of the hand. Raven said, "Yeah, looks good. Not much you can do with that one." Vegas Aces said, "I gotta go. Bye, Mark. Stay safe. You too. I know you can't hear this right now, but I appreciate your support." Raven said this. Daniel said, "Really interesting." Yeah, Chinese is pretty cool, right? Shoetown said, "Mostly just confused, but super interesting." Do you guys want to see another hand of Chinese? Like, I would deal one more hand. I think it's a fun game. I haven't done it in a while. But I also don't want people to be bored, honestly. Yeah, just interesting stuff. Jong says, "Mark, have you dealt short deck or 6+ poker? This game does not play 2, 3, 4, 5s. And aces can be used for the low end. So an ace, 6, 7, 8, 9, and flushes beats full house. Less outs to make flushes." I have not dealt with it. I haven't. All right, I'm getting some yeses for another hand of Chinese. So actually for Chinese I'm gonna watch the cards first. I haven't dealt short deck myself, but I mean, procedurally I imagine it's wildly similar to regular, right? It's like, as a dealer, the only thing that you have to change is what you said about understanding the straights and stuff. And as a player, you have to change some of the math, and the higher pairs become more valuable and more appealing, and the lower pairs become less so. But I also don't know the math of getting a pair. I imagine it might be the same, but it may not. Take me to Fantasyland. Oh man, Michael, remind me, what's Fantasyland? Is that something with the queens? It's been 4 years since I've played like that, and I know, like, I used to know what I used to play that with friends. I totally forget Fantasyland. It's the hand. So in Chinese poker, the hand after something happens, you're in Fantasyland, where everyone else gets dealt their cards face up, and as they get it, yeah, that's what it is. Oh, so that's what it was. Chinese poker was. Let me see. There's a version of open face Chinese poker, something like that, where you have to deal the cards face up, and you'd have to set your hands as you go. Let's try doing that right now. So we're gonna play all 4 of these hands face up, and that's what it is. It's interesting because I did do it that way. So what I would do is, as the dealer, there's no dealer button. You always start here. Actually, no, there was a dealer button. I totally take that back, and it does rotate. So what I would do as a dealer, I would pitch the cards out. This is what I kind of remember doing in the casino. And each person would get their card, all right, and they would go one at a time, and they would decide which hand they want to put it in. So like this person might put this in the middle. This person gets a 5. Oh, no, okay. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to remember this. So they start with 5 cards each. You know, I gotta get this memory jog. By the way, when you're dealing something like Chinese poker in a casino, you're not really expected to memorize it. Like, the players will just tell you, deal us all 5, and you're fine. And once you've done it the first time, you kind of remember. So what they do when they get their 5 is the first person to the left of the button has to set it first. So they flip them over. They see what they have. Everybody's gonna see it. So they say, okay, I'm gonna do they want to gamble and put their ace up? They've got a pair of 6s. It's like that, right? So they're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna put my 6s in the bottom. Maybe they just want to play it safe, and I'm gonna put my ace in the middle, and I'm gonna put my jack 8 up top, right? And you gotta make sure you don't foul your hand. Right. So Fantasyland, thank you for reminding me of that. When you play open face, the way you set your cards as you go, if you win a hand on all 3 levels, then for the next hand you're in Fantasyland, which means you get to set your hand all at once while everyone else has to set it as they go. Absolutely. When you have queens or higher, you get 13 cards automatically, while the other get 3 cards after the initial 5 cards. Right. So first we're going to set these 5 cards, and we're going to do kind of what we're saying. So here, we've got this going on. We got 3 diamonds, and like you can see, there's only 1 diamond out, and so this person's like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. And then they put the 5 here and the 3 here, right? And I'm gonna need a little bit more space. And let's see. That might not be enough space. We'll see. We're doing our best here. So this person's got these chips. Let's get these out of the way. Can we see this if I move this here? Yeah, we can. All right, now this player would set their cards. Let's see. Oh, so they've got a lot of their diamonds. So this player over here is just like, damn it, you know. And they see that there's only 2 hearts out. So maybe they decide to well, they're like, oh, there's no chance of royal flush. Maybe they decide to go like this, and they try to get a straight on the bottom, and they put a 3 up top to be safe. And then this player over here, by the way, I'm not great with the strategy of this game. Let's see, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Yeah, so we'll see what this is. Let's see, 4s with 3 spades. So like you can look around. All right, there's no 4s yet, so none of the 4s are out yet. So they take their 4s and they put them down, and they take their king here and their 8 here, and they put the 5. Let's see, there's 1 5 out. They can see that there's a king, 2 kings out. There's an 8 out. There's 2 8s out. So the 8's less likely to get a pair, so they might leave it like this. Maybe they would put the 5, which there's only 1 down here, hoping to get 2 pair or something like that. Nah, they're gonna put the 5 over here. All right, so they set it like that, and Now, I think if I remember right, it's 3 cards. 3. I sort of remember it only being 2, but I can't. Maybe it's 3 and then 2. So now this player is going to go first. They look at their cards, and they're starting to become upset because they're like, "Oh, I could have had a flush maybe if I kept those together, but I didn't." Right? And they don't get any pairs, so now they're kind of stuck in kind of a tough decision mode. So I'm just going to make this simple and quick. I'm going to put the queen in the middle. I'm going to put the, let's see, there's only 1 10 out. There's no 7, so the 7 will go down here, and the 10 will go in the middle. And then we take these 3. A pair of 2s and an 8. All right. Well, oh man, that's tough. Because they get 1 diamond, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total diamonds out. Well, they're going to go for their flush on the bottom, and they're just going to live with the results, whatever it is. They'll put their 8 up top and hope for an ace. It's tough, yeah, but that is what it is. All right, and then these ones over here. Let's see if they get their king. Oh boy, they get 2 10s. Let's see. All right, they're gambling here. This player's gambling, and it's just like the comment said. Actually, I'll put the 2 over here so we can have a better hand up here potentially. And then over here, so there is another 5. That's a little bit scary, but none of the 4s are out yet, so that's a good sign. We can put a queen up here, and we'll put a 7 right here. That seems safe. 7 over here. 7 right here. All right, and then it looks like we do 3 more. This is called open face Chinese, by the way. All right, so let's start here with these 3. King Jack 7. Oh boy, they would have had so many clubs. Oh, but they do get a straight in the middle. Do they want to gamble for a 6 or a 7? Yeah, why not? Let's let them gamble. I don't necessarily recommend this at home, but nonetheless. So they got a straight in the middle. They've got 2 pair down here. So they would need, there's 2 7s remaining, and there's 2 6s, or there's 1 7 remaining and 2 6s for them to not foul their hand. So they're playing crazy, but they're going for it. Now let's see what this one's doing. So they've got, oh, they missed on their diamonds. That's unfortunate. So we're going to do, there's only one thing that we can do here. We go like this, the 9's in the middle. And no, that's not true. We got 9's in the middle. We can, yeah, let's do that. It's fine. No, but well, so the thing is they're going to get stuck with something. So let's put the jack over here. Oh boy. So this player really needs a king. I guess technically they could get a pair and they'd be okay. So they're going to just go for it. They put the 3 up here because that does help them. And they're going to be fine with their 3s, and they'll go like this. Can we see? Oh, these are the ones that we can't totally see this, huh? Here, I'll have to go like this just to like keep it clean. Usually you don't overlap the cards, but I want you guys to be able to see. This is all visible. This is all visible. This is not completely visible. So I'll move all this over a little. I like that sound. All right. And now these 3 for this hand. All right, so they did get their 4. Boy, oh, one of the 6s is out. That's scary for them. They got their 4. I guess they would love to be able to put this up here, but that's the queen up here. You know what? They're going to gamble because we aren't playing for money. And now they have to get a king, a 5, or a 7 over here. Before they finalize that, are there any 5s? So you can like look around. You see, oh, there's 1 5 there, another 5 there. So they can't get a 5, right? There's 1 king, 2 kings, 3 kings, so there's 1 king left in the deck. And then there's, yeah, they're not going to do that. Putting the queen up here is a bit suicidal. So I think what they're going to do is put the 6 up there. They're going to put the 6 over here and the queen down here, just so that they don't foul their hand. And now it's 2 cards for everybody. They might do it, no, they do it like this. All right. I'm not sure how fun this is. I think it's pretty fun, but we're going to finish it nonetheless. So they get their 9. And wow, they got their 6. That is remarkable. Were you rooting for them? I feel like I was. Look at that. They hit it. Now this one's got to get a diamond. First it's a 3. Ooh, that's good up here. All right, so if this is a diamond, they're all set. Oh no! But you know what? They're not foul. They got pair of kings. So they're kings and 9s and 3s. That's a legitimate hand. It's not nearly as good as a flush, but boy, they snuck in there. But that means over here, this has to be either an ace. I don't think there's any kings left. So an ace, queen, jack. 9's not going to help them. And the 7. Oh, I bet they wish they could have traded. So this hand fouled. So they did not get a legitimate hand because down here they have an ace high and they have 10s over here. So there's no way that they can recover from that. So their hand is foul. So we're just going to go like this and flip it over. And then over here, we get a deuce and an ace. So we were right. So we're going to put an ace high here. And then we go like this. So now this one, because they fouled, I think they lose 3 points to everybody. So 3, 3, and 3. Now the rest of these hands are all legit. So here the 3s beat the jack, but they lose to the straight in the middle with the 9s, and they lose to the full house. And in open face, these are bonuses. I totally forget how much the bonuses are. Let me see. Let me look up open face hand bonuses so you guys know. Survey says royalties for bottom hand. So you get on the royalties for the bottom hand, you get a full house, you get plus 6 units. And for the middle hand, for a straight, you get plus 4 units. Boy, oh boy. That is pretty powerful. But I mean, it totally makes sense because, oh no, wait. Yeah, it totally makes sense because when you're doing an open face like this, it's really hard to pull it off. So the risk reward is pretty insane. So this is a 4-point bonus. This is a 6-point bonus. So here they're going to win 1. So now it's plus 1 here. Over here they lose. So that's 1. So they're even, plus 4 for the bonus. So this one's up 4. And then over here they win with a full house. So that's 1. So that's a total of 5. Plus 6. For the bonus, that's 11. So this player has to pay 11. And actually, I forgot about the bonuses here. I'm pretty sure that this player has to pay the bonuses too. So that is a total of 10 more points to them. And then between this one and this one, we've got 3s up top, so they're winning up top. 5s versus 9s, so they win again here, and then 3 of a kind wins. So this one's going to win 1 point, if I understand correctly, and then that reduces this. And let's see, so now between these two, this wins the top, so this is plus 1 over here. This wins the middle. This is now, you get that one back, plus 4, so that's 4. Actually, we'll do the bonus at the end, okay? So it's even, and then this one wins with the full house versus 3 of a kind. So this is plus 1, this is plus 11. So it looks like that. And I did this spontaneously. I did not research it in advance the way that I normally would, but I'm pretty sure I got it correct. That being said, it's a pretty cool game. It's also, it's like fun for people to, a lot of people that are waiting for a high stakes game will play that while they're waiting for like $5 to $10 a point, and they have fun with it in casinos. It's a little bit less common. Casinos sometimes hate spreading it at the end of the night, but those players definitely love it. Right, and Jong said when you have queens or higher, you get 13 cards automatically, while the others get 3 cards after the initial 5 cards. Yes. Let's see. When you play open face, the way that you set your cards as you go. Yep, if you want a hand on all 3 levels, then for the next hand you're in Fantasyland, which means you get to set all your hands at once while everyone has to set it as they go. Yep, obviously Fantasyland is a huge advantage for not fouling, of course. Daniel, so the position is now powerful when you see what cards have been dealt. Absolutely, Daniel, that is true. That is why there is a button in open face Chinese. It doesn't matter as much in regular Chinese. Michael says fouling, meaning that you don't have a valid Chinese poker hand, meaning that the bottom row doesn't beat your middle row or the middle row doesn't beat the top row. Yes. Michael says, in terms of how the cards get dealt in open face Chinese, I think it might be one at a time, huge sweats. I think you're right about that. Yeah, well, no. You think it goes 1 card at a time and then each person sets it? I would have to look that up. I can't remember. You sent a video. I'm guessing that links it. So how are the chips involved? Christian, I hope that question was answered at the end when I moved the money around. And this player with the full house in the bottom and the straight in the middle was the huge winner. That's super hard to get, by the way. The fact that you saw that is not that common. Let's see. Michael says, technically they aren't needed. You're playing for points, so you can just keep a ledger of some sort if you want. Yeah. How to play Chinese poker with 3 players. You just let me see. Some places will give extra cards to each person and you discard a couple. Most places will just deal the 13 cards separate and put it aside and nobody gets it. So like you deal out the whole deck, but there's only 3 players, so one of the sets of 13 cards doesn't get used. If you're playing at home, it's fun for each person to pick their set. So like you move the button and then whoever's first gets to pick which of the 4 sets of 13 cards they want. And then at the end, everybody gets to see what they missed out on, right? They can see what the 4th hand was, and then, because everyone had a choice to pick it, and everyone chose something else. So that can be a funny little addition just for nostalgia's sake. Let's see. Michael said a lot of the pros are playing open-face Chinese outside of the casinos to pass the time. Exactly, yes. That is exactly what this game has become. Raven with the horse, Mario Mushroom Sun, snowman, grapes, pizza, beer mugs, clink, I think a firework explosion, a palm tree, and the sun. Michael said the video is Sean Deeb and Barry Greenstein talking about open-face Chinese. It's a fun intro. Neil says that is so interesting. Yeah, so it's cool, right? Like it's definitely less of a game of skill than regular poker, but as they said, it's very fun because it's rare to get certain combinations and you don't see the same exact thing twice a lot, and there is definitely strategy to it. It's a little harder to be like an open-face Chinese pro, for example, but yeah, I mean, if you're playing high enough stakes, you can definitely become a winning Chinese player, and that's worth it too. You said it's also a good family game. Also, absolutely true. Like this is a great game to add complexity to poker, but still have it be more family oriented. Totally agree with that. Michael says a couple of degenerates overanalyzing a totally crazy game. Yeah, I get it. What is pineapple poker? Dad plays it a lot. Pineapple is when there is a 3rd card, and then depending on the type of pineapple. So Texas Hold'em is 2 cards. Omaha is 4. Pineapple is like Texas Hold'em. You start by getting dealt 3 cards instead of 2, and depending on the type of pineapple poker you're playing, that's hard to say. Pineapple poker you're playing, you then have to discard one of those 3 cards at some point in the hand. Some places do it pre-flop for pineapple poker. Some places do it post-flop for pineapple poker. It just totally depends on which version you're playing. So if you ever do decide to play a pineapple poker game, make sure that you find out which version you're playing. And I'm trying to remember what's what. It's like, it's the type of thing where if I were to be in the casino, I would just like quickly remember or ask one question and then remember all of which is which. But the thing about discarding, when you're playing a discard game, the betting has to go either before or after the discards, depending on the structure of the game, right? So, and I want to say one version of it, but I feel like there's enough people who sometimes the betting is first, sometimes the discarding is first, and then there's going to be somebody who says it's always done this way, and I can promise you that that is not true, as much as it should be true, because there is one way that is probably more universal, but because these games are rare and kind of fun and silly, they don't end up getting a universal set of rules. Michael says, gotta sign off, but super fun chatting. Thanks for the instructional dealing videos, Mark. Best, maybe only dealing content on YouTube by far. I appreciate that so much, Michael. There are some other people out here doing it to a degree, but you know, when you care about something and you put the effort in the beginning, other people just respect it instead of trying to compete with it, is my experience. Also, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there hasn't been money from the channel in excess up until more recently, where now I've got memberships and stuff, which I feel great about. But yeah, it is interesting. By the way, anybody that has a skill set, casino or anything else, make YouTube videos. It's just a cool experience. You know, people end up liking it. It's why I started making TikTok ones also. True Poker Dealer on TikTok has 10,000 plus views already, video views, and I've barely made it. It's an interesting thing, giving people something that's satisfying to them, sharing yourself. And I mean, it's not a ton of money by any stretch. People don't like to talk about the money on YouTube, but you know, I recently crossed over the 2 million total views plateau, and I gotta tell you, like, 2 million views is, I think my channel in advertising over 8 years has taken in like $5,000. Like, that's not zero. It's pretty cool, right? It's been like a solid $50 to $100 a month, and it doesn't cost you guys anything. You just have to hit skip ad here and there. Like, it's an interesting setup. YouTube is the only, I want to say this, is super powerful though. YouTube is the only social media platform that pays its content creators directly. It's a very, very powerful statement I just made. And right now, 75% of all kids want to be famous YouTubers. You know what that means 15 years from now when they're all adults? That means that the nostalgia that they have for YouTube is going to be huge. The platform is going to grow. It's not too late to start creating anything you want on YouTube and learning and having fun with it, and learning it so that your kids know how to do it. Like, that's partly why I'm having my son come and help me this week and the week after, and potentially for the summer while he's out of school. He's interested in it. I want him to learn this skill because I know that if he knows how to make YouTube videos really well, he's going to have a channel and he's going to have passive income coming in for himself. And he could be spending that time and energy playing video games, and unless he's on Twitch, getting nothing for it. You know, that's my little rant on that stuff. But I feel very appreciative of YouTube, the fact that they share revenue. They don't have to do that. None of the other social media accounts. I mean, think about it. Does Facebook share revenue? Does Instagram share revenue? I mean, it actually blows me away that YouTube does it. So thank you, YouTube. Let's see. Is there a limit to the number of players in Chinese poker? Yes, 4 at the max, because it's a 13-card game. Exactly. Is it possible to play with 2 decks? You can do anything you want. I've never seen it done that way, but if you were to do it that way, you would have to account for the possibility of like 8 or 5 of a kinds. And you know, what do you do if there's 2 ace of spades or something like that? So yes, you could do that. You could absolutely do that. I've never seen it done. It might be pretty cool to watch it be created. Christian says, what are the hours of a poker dealer, and do you usually get tipped? Poker dealers generally have to work whenever the casino needs them. Because there's a lot of poker dealers at most casinos, there's some flexibility, but it usually takes a long time to be able to get normal working hours. So a very typical shift for a poker dealer starting out is either going to be something like 5 or 6 till 1 or 2 a.m., 5 or 6 p.m. until 1 or 2 a.m., or something more like 7 or 8 at night until 3 or 4 in the morning. And then some casinos have whoever's brand new go to overnight grave shift, or they now call that sunrise sometimes, but because it's less like negative feeling. I personally, in 10 years in the industry, most of it was a supervisor, 3 of it was a dealer. I personally split it pretty evenly between day shift and night shift. I can remember plenty of times where I worked like 8 p.m. until 4 a.m. In my first job, and this is important for you to hear, okay? If you're thinking about being a dealer, every single year for 6 years, I had to work on New Year's Eve. I had to work on Christmas, okay? I had to work on Thanksgiving for like 3 years. Uh-oh. What just happened? No. I don't know what happened. So I'm telling you that so that you're prepared. There's no way out of that. If you're working in a casino, that's a part of it. So I appreciate that question in that sense. And do you usually get tipped? Yes. Typically, a poker dealer will get tipped every single hand. Sometimes the tiny pots you don't. Sometimes players choose not to. But that's the appeal. That's why you're there as a poker dealer. Shootdown says, or be like me where you play Hearthstone competitively and you get to play games and earn a bit of money. I love Hearthstone. I've made it to rank 4. That's the best that I've done. I've got 12 wins in Arena before. I love the game, and I played it so much that I actually had to delete it off my iPad like a year ago, or maybe like 6-7 months ago, because I was just like playing Hearthstone instead of doing stuff. If you're making money off of that, that means you're great. Congratulations on being able to do that. I was never able to get there. I do miss me some Hearthstone. I feel like Hearthstone 20, 30 years from now is going to be in my retirement rotation for things to do because I really did like that game too. I do have something I have to go to pretty soon, so I'm going to wrap it up in the next few minutes. I do want to invite a few more minutes worth of questions, and I want to say thank you to you guys for keeping this fun and interesting. Maybe what I'll do just to kind of wrap up here will be I'll deal out 13 cards and we'll together set an open face hand while we wrap things up. Neil says, do you play poker in PokerStars app on desktop? No, I haven't played the PokerStars app very much. In 2004, 5, and 6, I did advertise for PokerStars and I enjoyed it. I might even have done it in 07, 8, and 9 as well. But I barely played online poker in about 10 years. When I have, it's been within the last 3 months and it's been on Ignition. All right, here we go. So I'm going to just take them off the top of the deck. All right, we got a queen. We're going to take 5 cards before we figure out what... Look at that. Wow. All right, so the question is, do we go for it? I think, because this is not for money, that we are going to go for it. What do you guys think? Should the 8 of clubs go down here in the bottom and we just go for a regular flush? Or should the 8 of clubs go in the middle with the 9? What do you guys think? What we're doing is we're giving ourselves, right off the top of the deck, 13 cards. While I'm waiting for it. So I want to know, first 3 people to say the same thing. Are we putting this 8 of clubs? Are we putting this down here with the 3 to a royal flush and making it 4 to a flush to hopefully get a flush down here? Or are we putting it in the middle here and trying to go for a straight there? First 3 people's answer, I'm going to do whatever the first 3 people agree on. Do you play poker? All right. App on desktop, John said. Daniel said, what is your opinion on card counters in blackjack? Card counting is one of the most difficult things that I can imagine, because not only do you have to count cards effectively, not only do you have to know when to vary your bet, you also have to know how to disguise yourself. You have to know how to make it appear like you don't realize what the count is. And like, if you can be a successful card counter, you should definitely go to Hollywood, because the amount of acting you have to be able to do in order to pull that off in most places is tremendous. Now, I'm not talking about for small amounts, small wins here or there. That being said, it's one of the craziest things about casinos is that there's this game called blackjack that a player can learn how to play for an advantage, and the casino, who always has the advantage, won't allow it. It just blows my mind in some ways. But it's completely legal, but at the same time, you're going to get yourself kicked out of the casino, so it's up to you. Casinos are places that people like to go. They don't like to lose their right to be there, so it's hard to say. All right, so I get middle, I get flush, I get flush will not be possible if you have a chance for 2 pair in the middle, straight in the bottom. So I got 2 different things. I got middle twice. So I got 2 people saying middle, 1 person saying here. I need to know, do I put this 8 here in the middle, or do I go for the regular flush down here and take away my chance at the royal? Let me see. Shoetown says, thanks a lot again. I already loved your videos about dealing, but these live streams are the nuts. I appreciate that. I enjoy just hanging out and having you on my second screen. Keep it up. I appreciate that. You guys are great company. All right, I'm going to vote middle so that we can keep going with this because I think it's fun. I'm going to deal 3 cards, and we'll put them where we want. Oh, boy. Did we just get 8s and 9s in the middle? All right. What do you guys think now? Do we like our decision to put the 8 in the middle now? What do you guys think? This is pretty crazy. I mean, this is for the first 8 cards, this is pretty crazy. I've never seen this before. All right, we're going to do 3 more. Oh my goodness. We did get the royal flush. I think I'm going to put this 7 and this deuce up here. We get 2 more cards. I got to say, I'm pretty blown away. You guys all saw me shuffle this. I actually shuffled the deck. Here we are with our royal flush in the bottom and our 2 pair in the middle. And the last 2 cards. It is a full house. Oh my goodness. It would have been 4 of a kind. That is incredible. Wow, wow, wow. Well, listen, it doesn't always go this way, but anybody who is a Chinese poker player, just so we can see the bonuses here. So the bottom hand royal flush is plus 25 units in open face Chinese, and the full house in the middle is worth 12 units. I gotta say that's pretty impressive. That would be, in terms of number of units, that's a lot. Imagine if that was $800 a point, right? What an interesting way to end this. Let me see. I told you, yep. Raven said, "Holy crap!" I know. I'm feeling the same way. That's remarkable. I mean, look at that. It almost makes me want to do it again. Yeah, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna put this aside because it's just so spectacular, and I'm gonna do one more before I go because I'm feeling the Chinese bug here, and all right. So we're gonna do 5 cards to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, this is more regular, right? Like, we've got 4s here. We got 3 to a flush. It's a tough decision. Gosh, it's not nearly as fun this time around, right? Because we don't really know what we're looking at. I'm gonna put the 4s down here, and I'm gonna put the king 7 here and the 3 up top. That's what I'm going to do. All right, now we get 3 more. Let's see, 8 and a 3. I'm going to put the 3 here. I'm going to put the jack here, and the 8 here is good. 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we've got 3 4s here. So we just need to get a pair in the middle. I think I'm going to put the, I'm going to put the ace right here. Why not? And a 6 down here, and then we get 1, 2. So we do get kings in the middle, and we have a valid hand. What can we say? A 10 will show up, right? Let's see. I am a fan of Chinese. I am a Chinese poker player. What you saying? I always wanted to ask this. How many decks do you use in one round of dealing a blackjack? Because I see 5 to 6 decks on the dealer side, and the dealer keeps pulling cards. Blackjack is used. Blackjack, If it's handheld, it's either 1 or 2 decks, single or double deck. If it's with a shoe, it's either 6 or 8 decks, and occasionally they vary from that. But that's what it is. There's absolutely places that do 8 decks. There's absolutely places that do 6 decks. Sometimes they have continuous shufflers and all that type of stuff. But listen, guys, you guys are all awesome. Oh, it says, Cody said, you running some Nace stunts? I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's funny. Actually, I'll just look it up because that's what I do. Nace? What is that? It's a pseudonym used by the author of Expert at the Card Table, a book detailed sleight of hand. No, I was not. I was legit doing that, and it's pretty cool. But listen, I appreciate you guys. I hope you had fun like I did. Take it easy. See you on next. I don't want to say it. I'm not trying to say that word. But Tuesday, the following Tuesday at 2:00, I will be back. Will you be here?